This week, around the British Columbia Football Conference.
With the BCFC season creeping closer each and every day, most players have put their training into high gear in anticipation of main camp and ultimately the first game. For one BCFC player, however, the intensity of training has been in high gear for the last few months. Rams defensive back Jordan Linnen survived BC Lions rookie camp and found himself invited to play in the Lions' first exhibition game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in Vancouver. He talks about the thrill of donning the orange and black.
It was unreal. It was definitely a life-changing experience. It was definitely an eye-opener to things that I'm looking to achieve, for sure.
Compare that thrill of your CFL experience to the thrill of your first experience in junior football, your first experience in high school, and so on and so forth.
I mean, for me, the transition, I mean, it was definitely a different experience. It was a different level of football, obviously, but it was nothing like what I've experienced going from high school to college or from minor football to high school. It was completely different. It was exciting. It wasn't overwhelming, but it was definitely exciting, and it was different. It was something that made me kind of know what to look forward to and what I want to achieve now as a football player.
You ever played in front of a crowd like that before? That big?
No, that was definitely the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of.
How many days, first of all, did you find out ahead of time that you're going to actually suit up and play?
I found out probably 2-3 days prior to the game that I was definitely going to be playing, and then I had still at that point hadn't known how much I was going to play or what quarter I was going to play in, or et cetera. And then the day of the game was when I found all that stuff out. So
you find out you're going to play. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you scared? What's going through your mind?
A combination of all of them, I guess. Kind of. I wasn't really too scared, but it was more so an anxiety and anxiousness. It was more nervousness than anything. I was excited for sure. Definitely excited the opportunity to play in the CFL, especially in my hometown.
Yeah, you're going out there for the very first time. You're in the very first play, the opening kickoff, and then you get right in on the play, don't you?
Yeah. Actually, flew down there and got to be in on the tackle, make the first tackle of the game. So I was pretty excited, pretty stoked to be able to do that, and definitely something that I didn't anticipate happening. But when it did, it was a surreal feeling. Yeah,
a moment you're going to cherish, no doubt. But did it also kind of calm you down? Now, you know what? Now the game's on. I've made my first tackle. Now it's just a game of football.
It definitely did that. It definitely. I felt after that, there was no pressure. There was no outside, anxiety. It was just kind of, I've done this before. I've been in this situation before. Maybe not at that level, but it was definitely something that calmed me down and allowed me to kind of just play my game.
How much did you play?
Played quite a bit. I played every kickoff and every punt return, as well as I got to play corner in the fourth quarter.
And how you feel? Did you keep up to the guys?
Definitely. That was the surprising part. The game speed kind of over the progression of training kind of slowed down for me, which was good because it was bullets flying in first, but when it started to slow down and allow me to kind of let things happen in front of me, it made it easier, and the game definitely was a little bit easier because I had been going against guys that are a lot faster than I am, or a lot faster in general that I hadn't been playing against at the junior level, so It was different, but it was easy once the game got rolling.
Was it somewhat of what you expected? I mean, you're lucky enough to make the opening tackle, and you talked about just now it's calmed down, you're playing a game of football, but was it a little faster than maybe you expected, or was it kind of, well, you know what, I've been in training camp, I kind of know what to expect?
It was definitely, game speed, but it was definitely something where it was one of those things that training camp, going against the guys in the competition in training camp, I felt like it wasn't going to be any faster than that. I felt like we had pretty good athletes here in BC and on the Lions team that I wasn't going to face anything better than what we had. So It felt like it kind of slowed it down a little bit for me. What
did the coaches say afterwards about your performance?
Actually, it was funny. I hadn't really talked to Wally too much throughout the course of camp, but he actually came up to me in the locker room and then congratulated me on a successful camp and a really good game, and said that I surprised a lot of people and opened some eyes and did very well, and he was impressed, and it was good that way. And my positional coaches were proud of me as well, so they came and gave me a hug and said good job, and look forward to continue to work with me and see what happens in the future.
What was the better experience, playing or having Wally Buono come up and shake your hand and say you did a good job?
For me, I'm a gamer, so I definitely say the game was the better experience, but it was also definitely an honor and a privilege to be able to have Wally kind of give me some praise on what happened in the game.
The last number of years, you've been defensive back with the Rams. Of course, a lot of heated rivalry and games against the VI Raiders. Now you're in the same locker room as Andrew Harris. Did you talk to him?
Yeah, it was funny. It was definitely a heated rivalry over the last few years, and we definitely have had our differences. But as soon as I got out there to BC and also training camp, he was pretty relaxed with me and pretty open-armed, and kind of just showed me the ropes and kind of was willing to give me some input and just told me to keep repping the CJFL and the BCFC and just play football, man. That's what we were about, and that's what it was about. And he said we're on the same team now, so let's just make things happen for each other. So we did that, and we ended up becoming good friends. So
nice.
It's definitely a difference than what I've been back playing in the BCFC a few years ago.
Well, what's next for you? Do you continue to practice with the Lions, or are you playing in any more games?
That's still to be determined. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just waiting by the phone to hear what happens next. I'm not too sure, but in the meantime, I'm gonna practice with the Rams and kind of go from there and see what happens, and hopefully get a few more opportunities or get an opportunity throughout the season to practice and be around those guys and maybe even play at some point.
What's the moment that you will take with you always? Is it the first tackle? Is it the first time you put the helmet on?
It's a combination. I mean, definitely that first tackle I think is going to be the most prominent memory of the game, but outside of that, just being around the teammates and getting the coaching from the guys and being around the vets that I was around, that's probably the few big memories for me that'll stand out for a long time.
Jordan Linnen was terrific in his Lions debut, and it appears the future is very bright for the young Vancouver native. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.